delinquent. Like buildings for Jefferson County, so as of September 18th. Bruce is stretched pretty thin,
Oh.
he's still,
I've seen him the other night.
he said he was zoning. Tuesday night, last Tuesday night, but, he's stretched pretty thin. Hopefully Brian can come back for some half days here this week or next. So that's all I have there.
Yeah, I had a zoning meeting real well. I thought they're on a lot of they're doing a lot of things, looking at different ordinances, trailer parks, stuff like that. They're trying to get everything current. We've had the ordinances for quite a while, but they really wasn't we had something down that we didn't enforce, so they're trying to make it where it's more applicable for what we got going on and looking at that. So I thought that was pretty good. Had a we're gonna get a building Thursday at we got a meeting night at the transfer station, so we got a building coming in to put down there what we've been talking about. Had a some meetings at the let's say we're just working on stuff like that through the county and did we ever get because I went out there to look at the LP tank, did we ever get anything? Did you ever hear anything on that out there?
No, I'm working on them.
Okay,
I called the elevator to see if they have anybody. I think I'm gonna,
if you need some help, holler.
my Aunt Ider's supplier, maybe go
That might be a
route.
good idea. Yeah. But if you need some help, give me a holler.
Okay,
But that's I think that's everything. Public input. How's Mark today? Good. Did a bunch of win last night? Not much. Really? You're the only one. Anything online? Mark, I think we can go in and we'll get you down for 840, but I think do we have you want to wait till county engineer gets here, or is it something that needs his ears?
It might, I mean, he knows everything that we're talking about.
Why don't we wait till he walks in, that way I don't have to repeat it twice. And if you've got questions or he's got questions, let's do that and make it more effective.
Well, I don't have a problem listening to Mark, and then if
No,
we
listen, then we got
if we
questions.
need to have him stick around for Adam, then we can.
Early.
Is that okay?
It's fine.
And then, and if you want to, you can. If not, you can.
We've talked many times.
Okay.
So,
All right.
F Avenue, just south of my residence, my property's on both sides of the road. There's a ravine. A new pipe was put in. Oh, about 6 years ago, if I remember right, 60 foot by 5 foot in diameter. Replaced because the old one was rotted out. It was installed 1958. When they installed it, they disturbed the ground. Right next to it was 2 field tile, I think an 8 and a 12 inch or a 10 and a 12 inch. They were clay tile. When they were disturbed, they started leaking and it started undermining the road. Went on for about 3 years, and about a year ago, they finally talked Adam into coming out to repair that tile. By that time, it washed pretty good percentage of the road out into the creek, whatever. That tile, those 2 tile were fixed with a plastic, which is normal. But they were also dropped about 8 to 10 feet, and they dumped in the bottom of the ravine instead of up high where they were. At the end of that 5 foot pipe, I'd put about 25 loads of broken concrete riprap in there for a spillway. Keep my property from washing. It's all missing and a bunch of dirt off of my property. I assume that's what the road was built out of. Adam was there, I think he concurred that you can see excavator teeth marks 50 foot onto my property where dirt and concrete have been taken off of my property. Adam and I've talked, I would say 6 to 8 times. He was out and looked at it last year about this time. I figured maybe be fixed before winter, because by taking that rock revetment spillway out, my creek has dropped about 4 to 5 foot, the depth of it in the bottom. And for a quarter mile to the bluff, where it dumps out into Keeper Slough, it's starting to erode both sides of the ditch into this creek. That particular area is about 2 foot of black dirt, and then it's undermined with sand. I don't know how deep, way deep. So it's a very unstable area. My dad and I spent probably 40, 50 years. It's terraced on both sides with tile drops into the creek because it erodes so bad. About half those terraces are in danger of washing into the ravine at this point. And, every time it rains, that ditch washes a little bit deeper. I guess what I'm looking for is to get that rock put back in and raise that tile, which is under the road now, back up to where it is, because right now it's dumping underwater. Anytime the creek freezes over, that tile ceases to run. NRCS was out there, Drew DeLang took some pictures. They didn't have any equipment with them to do shots and stuff on it, but he used the term cause and effect. By removing the spillway, it's caused problems. I'm going to say it's at least a quarter mile to the edge of the bluff. He says he'd like to see rock revetments put every 500 foot to try to slow this water down and keep it from eroding any worse. I don't know if that's even possible money wise. A lot of environmental effects were ignored, I'm going to say, when that rock revetment was taken out. Adam had told me last fall at this time that county's not responsible for anything going on the road right away, but the rock revetment was on private property and it was taken, so I guess that doesn't matter at this point. Just like to get it repaired before my fields start falling into this ravine, washing out, major washouts. Talked to Adam many times. We don't seem to be gaining anything. His last promise was the end of June, 1st of July. Well, we're in middle of July here and I haven't heard anything from him, or doesn't seem to be any progress being made. So I don't like to come to a public meeting and complain about something like this, but I'm at that point where I don't want to lose farm ground.
I'd like to see it, these pictures, or I'll drive out and
Yeah.
look at it, so I feel.
That was my next
that-
suggestion, was maybe a field trip out to see what's going on. I got a few pictures, but the trees are growing up bad enough, you can't really.
Yeah. I don't have a problem, it's not that far to drive out and just look at it sometime.
It's a mess. It's a mess. It's an ongoing issue.
So you think if the tile was run into the culvert and the rock put back, problem would be solved?
I think it would be a good start. NRS, I can't remember the boy that was with him that just started with him, but they both agreed that the on down thing it's going to have to be addressed sooner or later. It's a cause and effect type deal is what he kept calling it. By removing this, it's caused problem on down the line. So yeah, I would think 20-25 loads of concrete, broken concrete is what I had, riprap, whatever you can find, put in there as a spillway. Cause that 5 foot pipe, if we get over 4 inch rain, it'll run completely full for half a day to drain that. There's about 300 to 400 acres drains down through that ravine.
This is just south of your place where the road kind of does a little dip there.
It's,
Well, I guess I'll take your time the next day or so to look at it. And, yeah, I guess talk to Adam.
Could you tell us?
I didn't hear the beginning of it because it wasn't 8:40 yet. I guess for the timing, yes, we intended to get it done here in June and July. But as you know, we've had much rain and we are down a guy, down staff. The plan was to, when we were doing the bridge over there on our avenue, we would be hauling a bunch of riprap that week, so that 2 weeks from now, that we would have crews, because in order to load up broken concrete, you have to have an excavator on both ends of the job. And honestly, the days we've had both excavator guys here have been very short, so. It was in the plan, it was in the works to do all that. In terms of the initial spillway thing I heard, I don't really know much about that. That would have been done prior to my tenure, and typically the engineer doesn't get that all that involved into the thing. I guess I'll check with the NRSDS to kind of gauge for myself what they have to say. I drove over yesterday morning, and it did not appear to be anything out of the ordinary from what we see in other parts of the county. But again, if we would like to have a meeting out there, I'd be more than happy to go out and take a look at it, I guess. So just to let you know, everything is going slow. You know, when it rains, we have to jump off and go do other things here. So
It's hard to get projects done when it rains 2 or 3 days a week.
so,
It's safe to say you'll have riprap there before winter. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's fine. I mean, it's on the list. It just takes time. So
I guess in the meantime, I'll go take a look and.
well, the tile would have to be dug up and obviously fixed before you start putting riprap in, because it goes from a 4 foot depth on the east side of the road to about a 15 foot depth on the west side. So
so you would like us to raise the tile up and then riprap under it,
yes.
and you think that will gain you on your version?
Well, when you put the riprap in, the tile is actually gonna be under the riprap, because the tile they put right in the bottom of the ditch where the concrete and riprap used to be. So you're looking at least, even if you just raise the tile with your hand, put riprap underneath the tile, water won't run uphill.
But when water comes out of a tile, it will fall down and it will erode as it goes down. So I guess we'll Sean, if we get together this week, we can
Take a look at it. And I try to put our heads
I
together.
will be off next week, but I can go out this week and meet.
We'll figure something out.
Okay.
Try to do, I mean, after the county, try to do the most cost effective way, obviously. Want to tear up the whole road, but we can.
To me, that's what's
Figure
gonna
it
have to be
out.
done, because when I was down there, when they were doing it, they hooked up on the east side of the road, dropped it about 10 foot, and they had the excavator down in there on top of that tile after they put dirt over it. So that, to me, the whole road's gonna have to be dug out, raise that tile back up to the proper height. I don't know when that's gonna have to happen, because like I say, the concrete's gotta be put into, I mean, It's a mess.
How
It's
big
just
is
a mess.
this, how big is this pipe that we're talking about?
The two field tiles, I think, are a 10 and a 12, but I'm not sure.
But they run under a 5-foot culvert,
No, they run right beside it.
right beside it.
On the other side, there's about a 10-inch tile also. You can tell where the standardized height was when they done it in 1958, where the tile should be, and there's 8 to 10 foot of difference of where it is now, where it was. I think it was put in the bottom of the trench so they could run an excavator down there and dip out of the creek, which was actually on my property, to get material to build the road out of. So, yeah, there's a whole lot going on there.
Well, we'll look at it and see what we can do.
I don't think the tile itself is not eroding, but when you put a spillway back in there, the tile is gonna be underneath the spillway. It's not gonna be on top of it.
Maybe we abandon it and just put a different one in, I don't know. Again, the most cost effective way, and we'll see what we can do. I'm no engineer, so that's what he's here for, so. Okay, we'll see what we can do.
Right.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Nothing else like that. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yep.
And should go with your report.
Had some wind and storms last night, the guys were out cleaning up logs and getting branches off the road and things like that. Nothing too terrible is happening out there, kind of missed a lot of it. So they're doing that, we are doing some ditching work, but again, with the rain, it keeps breaking us up there, so. Yesterday we did some shoulder work out west of the quarry. There's some areas there where water runs on G50s, G52. 52, I'm sorry. And it washed it out the road, so we got that fixed up. Again, we're mowing and blading and things like that. So really standard maintenance things going on. Last week I went to the county engineers mid-year conference and talking about, you know, new regulations and some changes. Does kind of sound like the Corps of Engineers maybe try to over-regulate a few things, and so they backed off some of those things here now. A little bit of relief there. There was talk from a bunch of counties that are, you know, having problems with the property tax law. That basically there's an issue that as the value of your county goes up, right, the amount of transfer to secondary roads is based upon that value, right? But your ability to capture the tax from that rising is going down. So there's a issue where secondary roads, in order to meet the law, has to take a bigger portion of the taxes. And we kind of see that here. And so these counties are struggling with that. And basically, if they don't fund their secondary roads at the level according to law, they lose access to their money. They lose access to your road use tax and your FM money, which is a very, very big deal. You know, we've got some, you know, counties that have projects that they're planning to let for a bunch of money. And then that also affects the SDBG, which is the money that we get for paving and things like that. And so there's some real issues out there, and there's some discussions about how all of that works, and I'm trying to find a way to work around it. That could, yeah. So other than that, working with the DOT to get our plans for the Grandview paving done. getting some patching done on some projects and things like that, so. Anything else going on out there?
I have one on. The back road that goes to 218 through towards Winfield. That's our road, right? G62?
Through Wyman?
Yeah, well,
Yep.
back this way,
Okay.
but by Boyson's in there.
Okay.
The shoulder gravel is gone and it's about a 6 or 8 inch drop off that shoulder. It's really bad. You should travel down that road and check that shoulder out. It could really cause a problem with someone.
Okay.
I noticed it this weekend when we drove over to Mount Pleasant.
Is it at the driveways or is it just?
For about I'm not gonna say a mile, half mile, 3/4 of a mile.
Okay.
Right there towards Boyson's
Yeah.
I didn't notice the other one coming back, but definitely the eastbound lane. Or
Okay.
westbound lane going towards Wyman.
Yep.
Check that out.
That was good.
Okay.
So,
Other than that, no.
Anything else?
That's it.
okay.
Did you say you're gonna be busy next week?
I'm gonna be out of this state on vacation next week.
Okay, I'm gonna be flying out tomorrow, so maybe tomorrow night, maybe sometime tomorrow before I leave.
Yeah, let me check my. Yeah, I don't have anything planned. So.
Okay, so I'll get the guys started and then I'll holler at you.
Okay.
Around 8 o'clock or so, we'll check that out real quick.
Yep.
I'd rather do it with you and me and keep Mark out of the mix here. It just seems like it gets stirred up. We can just look at it together and come up with a plan and then I'll let him know.
Has it gotten worse? I was out there, cause this started last fall and I was out there to look at it. Has it gotten a lot worse? You can't see anything now. That's what,
Not that I could tell.
unless you walk down the hill.
When did this work take place? How long ago?
You said 6 or 7 years
Yeah,
ago.
7 years
And
ago.
it's just now causing a problem?
Well, it's just constantly eroding more and you could see it last year.
I think some of it might be our fault, but some of it is just the fact that you're channeling so much
So much
water
water.
down there, you know, we tiled every square inch of things there, and we're pulling in more drainage faster than we've ever had before, and all that, so I don't know anything about any spillway or not, because again, I wasn't there when it was done, so.
Well, they put a 5-inch culvert in the drainage, so it's a big,
Yeah, it's a big,
I meant 5 foot.
yeah, it's got. a lot of
Yeah,
water.
we'll come up with plans, throw some riprap in and watch it and
Yeah. Now, maybe we went in and put in a bigger pipe than what was there before, and rather than damming it up, all that, so, again, I wasn't there, so.
yeah, we'll figure something.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll call you.
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright.
Way around that.
We got, I got some stuff I handed out.
Just, okay. Well, we got some engineers here from Fingers, if I wanna do a
Yeah.
report on
You
that.
guys wanna go ahead?
Yeah, that'd be great with Adam here.
It's gonna be great. Updated schedule here, so, last week we got into the flood contingency plan, we had to have them. Stop doing any grading or hauling more material onto. Feature 2, although they were about done with hauling of material, so. I think at feature 2 at this point, they're done hauling sand there, and I think they have most of their geosynthetic. Like the liner and turf there. I think the only thing that still needs to arrive material wise to the Louisa County portion is the actual cement binder that goes into that turf. That'll be quite a few sacks of kind of like a cement. Not concrete, but cement material. But that should be the last material thing. I'm gonna still be people coming in and out, trucks and stuff like that, but not like necessarily like hauling stuff, and I don't know. Like hopefully the road is in an okay situation there at that curve.
Yeah, the other thing I noticed there at the beginning was a little bit of mud, but
Yep.
that's been taken care of. So.
Okay, yep. So at that point, I think, they're planning on working on the trench probably end of this week, beginning of next week. And then they're gonna be actually running that liner and turf, putting it onto the levee, and then that cement will show up to the site. They'll kind of rake that into the turf to kind of get that all about the same level, and then they'll water it. That probably won't be occurring till maybe more like mid-August, I would say, is that actually like the turf and putting the cement on there, but. At that point, they should be just kind of waiting for 30 days. I think really the bulk of the earthwork is all done there. It's basically just putting that hardened topping on that structure.
You're not too far off of your schedule.
They're not too bad, no.
Couple weeks.
We are wanting to get out of there by like end of September if possible. It's gonna be a bit longer for that Muscatine County portion, but that's up by like Bedbone between Bayer and a little bit south of GPC there, so. That's shouldn't be bugging you guys at all, but hopefully the Louisa County portion's done here by September and they're off of X61 at least down in Louisa County, so. And then they have finished all of their earthwork raising the levee in that short stretch for Louisa County there. So that's all. If you guys do want to go down and take a look sometime, we can take you up there. They basically just filled in that kind of low spot that was there and raised it about 2 feet there, so. I haven't seeded that, but that's all just sand, but they've done a pretty good job shaping that up, so.
Maybe in September when you get the fabric installed and stuff, maybe we can all
Yeah,
take a look at it.
no, it sounds good.
Anything else?
Anything would help. That sand was awfully soft up on top of that levee in some spots.
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
hard to walk in it, let alone anything else.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a pretty good job now kind of packing it down, but. Yeah, it does, when it gets really dry, it's always kind
It was
of a
pretty bad.
bear to walk in. I mean, they're gonna seed it, but again, it's.
Sand.
Seeding sand, it's just gonna maybe grow some weeds, that's about it, so.
Yeah, if it had some vegetation on it, it would help hold it together, but
Yep,
stuff doesn't grow very good in the sand. So.
it's the core doesn't want too much. Topsoil to prevent seed.
Yeah.
Out of the levee, yeah, and you get some. Start losing material, you don't know where it's coming from, so.
See, that's one thing that surprised me with the water being up, that he allowed you to continue to work on it.
Yeah, we didn't do any. Up in. Muscatine County, just because there's so much seepage right at the toe, but we kind of just kept an eye on it. It was 21 feet that we had to stop. So it was only there for like a week or so that we had to stop doing stuff, but really.
Gotcha.
They were done with the bulk of that before that even hit, so it wasn't.
Yeah, then I going to water on it. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
You start putting loads on the saturated levee and it gets like a
Yeah.
roller coaster.
yeah,
Thanks for the update.
yeah, I'm just glad they were able to get most of that stuff
Yeah.
done before
Or
it
got bad.
came up, so.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, Adam's due at 9, so, but you have some of them. Ambulance reports to read.
We're gonna head up there, actually.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
You bet. Thanks for the update.
Is that close?
Good morning, Adam.
Hello.
Josh. Josh, right away, otherwise.
Thank you. Whenever you get your paperwork straight out and you are, all right.
Well, what were them guys had on the agenda? I didn't see that.
They're on here public. We just let them get in there and talk. It was not.
Okay.
They didn't call us until yesterday.
Okay.
It's just an update anyway.
Mhm.
That's crazy.
Yep.
Just a couple on here.
How many total acres are we talking, do you know?
I think at one time we was up over. It was a lot. 500 acres, I thought.
Just for lots of that, that's not.
Yeah.
County land.
There's gotta be a dozen acres, two-sided with all the buyouts. That's crazy.
It's a mess. Yeah, I think one time we had a report case like 574 on our page. You remember that?
Yeah, it's been a while since we've seen that one.
Now granted, some of these are in locations that probably.
Yeah.
Don't need to be, but there's a lot of them that could be.
Yeah. Well, and I think we didn't quite understand it at the times when FEMA did the buyouts, that it was
There was a bunch of money being thrown around at the time.
forever watched over by the county. So whenever you're ready, Adam, yours, it's yours.
Yeah, I think I'm ready. I was just trying to pull up
After
the
you emails, I
email.
want to make sure.
And,
You wouldn't wait on me to tell you again.
No, so yeah, I guess I was just asked what the restrictions were on the FEMA lots and if land could be leased. To private individuals. As long as it's in compliance with their, the deed restriction on the individual property. And I reviewed a model deed restriction from FEMA, but each one is not necessarily identical depending on the buyout and depending on the location of the property. So I would defer to the specific language in each deed restriction. But generally speaking, you can lease FEMA buyout lots to private individuals. Obviously, they can't construct anything on them, but they can use them for, hunting or fishing or purposes that, camping purposes that,
Pasture.
require, pasture, sure, yeah.
Does anybody
Crop
challenge?
lands, I believe you can plant crops on.
Okay,
so.
you can do crops, okay.
I didn't see anything in the. I mean, you might not be able to get crop insurance, but. Yeah, it says parks, outdoor recreation activities, wetland management, nature reserves, cultivation, grazing, camping. Except where adequate warning time is not available to allow evacuation. Unimproved, unpaved parking lots, buffer zones, and other uses consistent with FEMA guidance.
Has anybody challenged FEMA's? Being able to put back on the tax roll of anybody, any states, anybody, have you seen anything since it's so abundant and it is hurting a lot of the smaller counties, nobody's challenged that really?
No, I mean, it's federal law. If you challenged it, and even if you won, you'd have to repay the FEMA buyout money,
Okay.
so.
But the deal was, we have a lot of cost incurring to maintain it, cut trees. It's putting these counties on the line, and I know there's a lot of, if you look at the, well, we had a county in from Missouri, remember that?
No, I don't know.
It was 3 or 4 years ago, they was involved in, what was it, when that, all the west side of Iowa got hit with all the flooding, but anyway, it got them down there. And they came up there, knew we had problems with FEMA lands, and we just basically told them if they can not to take it. So, and then back 5 years ago, Randy came across one of the FEMA gurus, and they said that we could sell it. She thought there's a loophole in there. Remember this whole?
That's been, yeah.
And so we looked into it. Meanwhile, they ship her off to Russia or wherever, and they bring somebody else in, and then it's back to no, we can't sell this land.
But I mean, I think you might be able to sell it, but it would have to be to another government.
You just lease it, problem fixed.
But do you have to repay
If what?
if you lease it?
No.
There's a loophole in that.
That's not my understanding. So compatible so the deed restrictions, and then again, I would defer to the specific deed restriction for each individual property, but this is their form deed restriction that FEMA has put out. And it says. Compatible uses, the property shall be dedicated and maintained in perpetuity as open space for conservation of natural floodplain functions. Such uses may include, and it's that list that included cultivation, grazing, camping. Outdoor recreation. So.
Let me ask you this question. This is something new.
Oh,
that came
and then-
up.
So that doesn't specifically say leasing, then there's another section. And you do have to get permission from FEMA, to lease it.
Okay.
But, it says the grantee may convey a property interest only to a public entity, so you can only. You can only sell it to a public entity or a qualified conservation organization. However, the grantee may convey an easement or a lease to a private individual or entity for the purposes compatible with the uses described earlier. With prior approval of the FEMA regional administrator.
Okay, now we've learned last year that if county leases. Receives money on any of our non-tax land, that we have to start continuing to pay taxes. Would
Yeah,
FEMA
that's-
require, if we leased it, would we have to pay taxes on FEMA leased land?
If that's the rule, yes. I meant to check on that because I had a discussion with the auditor and I know that nonprofits, when they convert a use to to a for-profit use, essentially, that they do have to pay tax on it then. I need to check on that.
But isn't that our end goal? Isn't that our goal?
Put it all back on the tax
Yeah.
rolls.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, we have, everybody else paying the tax.
yeah, but you're leasing it, so you're
Yeah.
getting money to
Getting
pay.
revenue to pay the tax.
Right.
Part of it would be.
We can set the lease whatever we want.
But I think a lot of people thought this was a money maker, and it's probably gonna be paying taxes, which. We're paying ourselves back, but that's. It's one way maybe getting it on the tax roll.
Well, it gets it out of the care and maintenance of the county too, and on the burden of someone else.
Kind of. And
And write it, in the lease that they have
If we
to
own the
maintain,
property, we're still ultimately responsible if you lease, rent or anything.
but you can write it in the lease that they'd have to maintain the property.
Yes, if they didn't, then the county
Then they
is
get it back,
responsible.
right?
So I'm guessing on your first year lease. That the money that you're gonna get from that is gonna be pretty low, cause all of them are gonna need a lot of clearing and rubbing and stuff like that. And it may take a couple of years for them to get back into some sort of use, but it would definitely be nice if we could do something like that, cause. I know up on the island, especially now with the water up there, you've got a lot of debris and trash and things like that pulling through. And frankly, a lot of lots are being used to graze animals and other things, so.
And
Maybe it would be a good thing.
I think we ought to go after the whole list and just get it one time.
Well, sounds like we gotta start out by asking FEMA for.
That's what I mean, get the whole list approved that we can lease it. And then instead of going back case by case,
Well, I don't think they'll do that. I think you've got to get.
you think it's gotta be.
Lessee and say, here's the lessee.
So
here's
every
the-
time we're gonna have to go back.
I think so.
Because
I mean,
it
you
may
can
be,
check with the regional administrator, but that I would guess that's been the case,
there may be
They won't
different
give you a-
restrictions
Yeah.
on each parcel.
right? Yeah, they won't give you a blanket, okay, I'm sure.
So, if, again here, if we make $5 an acre on 500 acres, we're talking $2,500. It sounds like administration is gonna cost.
But you're also
It's,
improving the properties of everybody around it.
if it would have, yeah. I still think it's a hard one to do, but it's not cheap.
Come on in. Hey, Jake.
Well, I would think that if I had a cabin down somewhere and I had the opportunity to get a couple of lots next to my
Yeah,
cabin.
control the neighborhood.
Yeah, I would be all over that.
But if you look, the majority of these.
Probably mowing them anyway.
Not along the way.
Or whatever, well, maybe some people would farm it.
Yeah, now that
Okay.
we know that we farm,
All right,
there's a lot of them in Reggie Myers that are all together. I don't know how many acres, but there's a lot.
I would assume some of this is down in the Oakville bottoms too.
There's not a lot of them in the Oakville
No.
bottoms, that was all OE
So
stuff.
most of this is down in that island.
Island, down in Old Del Rick, there's a couple out here.
I saw Hawkeye Woods.
Acres out there and some of those old
Bunch in Hawkeye.
homesteads and stuff like that. You know, if you could get some sort of a, you know, it could be farmed or hayed or something, that would look a lot better than what we have in a lot of the spots, so.
Hey. So we got something to go forward on. And so we did do this. It's gonna require a lot of legal in your office. That's something that. What do you estimate time wise that we would have? If we're gonna break this, that's why I wanted to do the whole thing at once, because your time's gonna be spent doing this decision, helping this decision. If we do, say somebody comes in and wants one lot. Does your office have time to
Well, I mean,
make us realistic?
most of our time is gonna be in the lease. So I mean, we have form leases. It wouldn't take a substantial amount of time to develop one, for the purpose, and once we have it, it would just be turning out more of the specific information for the parcel and the lessee.
Would you be the person also contact FEMA, or who would do, what office would do the FEMA?
Generally, I would not. I mean, I could, do that. That would be additional time, but
Yeah, I just want to make sense out of this whole thing, that here we got, I don't know, just page after page, both sides.
He's over 400 of them.
Well, I don't
I've
think
not
FEMA
typically been in
properties.
contact with FEMA. I mean, they've had us do, like, we've had to do the legal work for the buyout lots in the past, but that usually comes through, I think, the emergency management.
Comes down,
Well, I wouldn't think you would just do one every week or so. You do them in a little batch, you know, every quarter we would do 20 and a quarter or something and send them out. Try to work somewhat efficiently at this.
And there'd have to be published notice of
Notices.
public hearing, because it's an interest in property.
Absolutely.
So all of that.
Would we be better off to use outside counsel, and then the cost of the lot would include outside counsels? That way, the cost
I mean,
is recouped.
Certainly, I prefer that because it takes up my time,
Is it
but
legal?
oh yeah, it's legal.
You know, we did
The
it
county-
during the buyout,
Yeah.
outside council bid on it.
But I mean, I think I probably, I would say I probably got time. Or I could make time to do that. If it becomes too much, then I can let you know and we can look at hiring outside counsel, but I don't. I mean, other than the communication with FEMA is a wild card as far as how much time that's gonna take, but as far as drafting the leases, so that's not gonna be.
Well, I think that's gonna have to be somebody in your office to do. And that's what I'm getting at, is I think there's gonna be a lot of time. We've seen it trying to get them to come up with an answer that they.
Sure,
And I just,
and a lot of that time will be waiting.
Yes.
And contacting them again, but I don't have to.
right. Yeah, it's not just one contact, it's certain. So. Okay, something to think about, but no, I appreciate your guidance to at least go to the next step.
Well, I'd like to have Adam's office handle it, and then, like he says, if he's overwhelmed and he's got something big, then he can let us know, and we can move on.
Oh, I'm not interested. Adam's office.
Yeah.
I'm not capable. Get you another job, man.
All right. Security.
Thank you. Anything else?
I don't think so. I sent an email that I cannot find with some, like. Basically what I told you guys this morning to Sean, because he sent me an email asking about it, and to somebody in the auditor's office. I don't remember if it was probably Sandy then, or not Sandy. Selena, thank you. Did those go through? Because I cannot find them on my email. you remember?
When
if
did you
got it.
send them?
You
Last,
wouldn't know.
last week?
Yeah, it would have been end of last week.
I do recall seeing an email from you, but I
Okay.
don't, we were talking about a couple of
I'll
different
more
things.
thoroughly go through my.
I'll look.
Draft messages and make sure that went through.
I'll double check.
Okay.
I never got nothing about.
I don't think I copied anybody. I think I just sent it back Sean and back, would have been Selena, I guess.
Then I asked Lena to get a hold of you to do that, but I've never seen the meetings.
Yeah, I don't think I copied anybody, but just been done.
If you do have something, could you send it to all of us?
Yeah, I can
You
forward it to you, but yeah.
If I find it, I can send it back.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
Yep. There's a copy machine in here, though, I think.
Go back, yeah.
I seen where you was walking, though.
Based on.
Thank you.
Hey, we're gonna do that bridge, at Hewitt's. Rain will be there 2 weeks from today, so.
Excellent. How long you think that'll be?
They're gonna start working on demo next week. And then, we could get them craned in there next Tuesday and the backfill, so it's all like 3 weeks.
Weather related.
Yeah. That'll be, it's about 100 grand. Pretty big bridge, so, yeah.
And that's 3 culverts.
Yeah. I'm getting, ones that are bigger and longer than we've ever found before, so I think this is the biggest we can do.
Can they be welded on each other? That's some little stuff.
You can, I mean, it's probably do a pound of salt, it's all that, I think, take two of them, overlapping, one bigger than the other one's overlapping. I mean, that gets a little, kind of makes my spiders.
100 grand versus what camping now.
I got the notice. Oh, good bill.
I got around 100 grand. So.
Yep.
But you know, the hydraulics have to be right, you know. And along with how they get it, or, you know, the chance of getting logged in is bad. But I think that's a.
Thank you.
I guess,
Yeah, tornadoes and.
Adam gets done. We'll leave it on that.
You got the weather down there, right?
Not really. You were just on the end of it.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, that'd be neat.
Yep.
Do you?
Yeah. You and Bruce.
Yeah, Jared, Jared's not here, but, what we're doing, Jared Ball is making an application for subdivision. He's splitting the house off. On a farm that he's got. And I've got the application here. I can give this to you. Here's an application, the title thing.
Yeah, once after everything's signed, I'll have to take it up to the public.
Okay.
Only has to be there right now.
So years ago, the county was 5 acres and it went what, down to 2?
2.
Okay,
In about 2009 or 10.
yeah.
Yeah, I do. Your certification. And, Brian. I gave it all to Brian, he passed it, I gave him the check a couple weeks ago.
Okay, Bruce is nodding yes. This is Brian's replacement, Bruce Hudson for.
Actually, it's boss.
His boss. Yeah.
Oh, so you're here for this?
I am.
Oh, good, okay, good.
He's
Well,
already.
there's no problems, is there?
No problem.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, all the partners have looked at it, everybody signed off, but I think Adam had suggested the road, something to do with the road, and they adjusted it, so we're good to go.
okay, okay. I've seen you before, but you don't get involved with me, do you?
I try to stay out of here as much as possible.
I do too.
For the weather.
Every time I come here, it's awesome.
Well, everything's kosher then. I'll make a motion that we, approve the Jared Bowl subdivision.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
All abstain because of.
Aye. Yeah, that's what I second.
It's
Yeah.
really, yeah.
Yeah.
Motion passed.
Good friend.
Probably a good idea.
I need that, I need that original pen, thank you. I'm gonna have that original. I'm gonna give it to her. And don't lose that.
This is.
Well, are you gonna stamp it?
I've got 3 of them.
Oh.
Yeah, you have to take all the.
That's you did that good.
Yeah, right after we get all the signatures. and stuff done. I have Selena coming. She's.
Just hit it down there.
There you go.
You guys had a chance to look at these ambulance reports.
Just, yeah,
Yes, I did.
well, both ambulances had a lot of calls.
Yeah. Looks like a lot of normal operating procedures to me. You're right, there was a lot of calls.
54 with one and 69 with the other.
The pager has been going crazy lately, I can tell you that.
And then there's a. And then the ambulance said you wouldn't find it. Thank you, buddy.
You're welcome.
I also have 2 ambulance contracts here.
There's all 3 of them. I haven't, which one, there's 2.
So I thought we already approved these.
Well, but we gotta,
This is.
everything's 2-part.
Yeah.
Which other one do you need? I got all 3 of them.
I got one set of waffle.
Anyway.
And the Morning Sun one's signed by us. But not them, and then the other one is signed by them, but not us.
Oh, you just take it over. Well, you're walking over there.
And that one,
Hey, thanks.
this must have been with Bradford.
How you doing?
I signed
You
it.
guys.
Yeah. See you, Bruce.
Bye, Bruce.
It was when you were gone, 'cause
This
Thank you.
one we have signed is for the 3 months. of
Yeah.
24, and then we have to sign the one that comes out of a different fund. I think that's the other. We have to do it.
After September, this is
Yeah.
good just till September, October.
I think if I remember right on that Zoom meeting that I was on, that was just a 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And then the other one's for the continuation after the 3 months. Am I correct?
Well,
The continuation will be, I'm sorry, it will be done for you. Yes.
Yep.
yeah, but these 2,
we just gotta make a motion here for the chairman to sign it.
Yes.
already signed.
He's got another set.
But, yeah, there's one that you
You approved
signed.
them, you approved them for, to send them out, now you have to approve them to sign them. I guess.
They're already signed.
You signed the Wapello one, not the,
And
Otherwise
and the
you can't-
Morning Sun one. The only one that isn't signed.
no, you
The Wapello.
signed the one
I
here.
signed the Wapello one. The Morning Sun and the Louisa County ones are signed.
Well, there's, which one's not signed for?
Wapello. On our side.
Okay, so I traded you. Here's one.
Those 2 are signed
Where's the one that's not signed?
right here.
Okay, that's a Wapello.
Yes. When you want those back,
Give me the Wapello and then have a full set to sign that's not signed.
there's Wapelos. There's 2 in that right hand, in your right hand.
Okay.
You should need 3.
I had with the other one, so I didn't have here. Let's see.
There you go.
There we go.
Do we need to approve that or
Yes.
just? Okay,
Make a motion so you can sign it.
I'll make a motion to approve the Buffalo ambulance contract for 3 months. I think it was 3 months, right?
Yes.
And you're gonna create, you're just gonna do one at a time? We got Wapello, Morning Sun and.
So how did it get signed if there wasn't a motion?
Right here. There's Morning Sun and it's signed.
Was there a motion to do
Yeah.
But
you guys
it's signed on
want to do
both sides, so
Here's Morning Sun.
One of them is.
Here's Morning Sun and
He
it's
came
not
in-
signed.
he came into the office for that one and that was signed. When we sent them out, but then we had to send them out to get signed. So we sent them blank ones, I guess. And so now they came back signed by the
Okay.
ambulances.
What is
So
signed?
now we,
But it was already approved technically,
technically, yes.
so just sign them. It's already been approved.
it? Just do a
We have to
motion
prove it.
covered aye.
We'll just, yeah, we're just dotting our i's.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'll make the
You're gonna
motion
have
to
a-
sign the Wapello, Columbus Junction and Morning Sun ambulance contracts for the next 3 months.
Second.
Thank you.
Any
You're welcome.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got it. A motion passes. Sure, there's
I'm
no
excited,
discussion.
I'm glad it did.
It's your turn.
Okay. Jacob,
I'm here.
how you doing?
Good. I assume you want to begin. We have been doing a lot of training. Our new guy Tanner, Holly's work. Very great. I'm really enjoying getting to know him. He's doing a good job for us. I've been doing a lot of director work, training him, making sure that he's got the shop under his belt for at least the time being, before I just go do other stuff and be like, good luck, so, been doing a lot of, maintenance projects, seasonal stuff, not me doing it, but, managing. So yeah, it's great. Very pleased with, his actions and abilities so far. He hasn't lied on his resume so far, so that's always a relief when they say you can do it, and you show, can you do it? And they say yes, so it's awesome. Snively update, it's still underwater. We had to pull picnic tables up further up the hill. It's very, very flooded, obviously. If you've heard any scuttle that we're gonna shut it down forever, that's not true. We closed the gate because it's flooded. I think there's a lot of hot topic over it right now, so we're just,
How do electrical disconnects work?
they are quick connect
Yep.
underneath the things and the whole pedestal comes out.
Yep.
Then we have.
Did it work, everything worked good?
Yeah,
On this?
yep, and last year it worked great as well, so.
I didn't know you pulled them last year.
Yes, we did, yep, it's just a bolt, one bolt, and then it, flood water goes away, you pull it off. Put some dielectric grease, throw them in, it's great.
Good.
Yeah, we labeled everything all right this year. Last year was a learning curve for sure. We're like, oh, we should have done this next year, or we should have done this, and then this year was taking all those experiences we had last year and doing them, so.
I didn't realize we pulled it last year, but that's good.
Yeah, and it's quick, especially in the time of like, oh my goodness, it's gonna flood tomorrow. We were able to get them all done in a day and get all the picnic tables pulled up at least, and not all the way up, I guess, because we've learned that they float. Anyway, so yeah, if you hear any scuttle that we're closing Snively forever, that's not a thing. It's, the board was thinking about facts of using it for the road and winter maintenance, all this stuff, but nothing really came of that, so we closed it because it's flooding. Other than that, we're doing, lots of park maintenance, we're redoing the deck, we're putting in benches, we're just, looking at water fountains. Big long list of things to do, it needs done, so we're just crossing things off as we go.
How's your summer programs going?
They're good. Yep, sorry, I forgot to talk about them. Some of them have gotten canceled because of flooding. A lot of them, not a lot of them, some of them were paddling. So some of the paddling ones had to get either postponed or, until indefinitely, kind of thing. But Langwood is getting used, every day is I guess not every day, but most days is. And all the programs are out there, a lot of them. No complaints thus far, I haven't even gotten a call that anything's happened, so usually, yeah. They're doing really good though. But I'm not in the office so much, so it's hard to stay really connected with that. If there was any issues, I'd hear about it for sure, and I haven't heard anything, so.
Your summer camps are probably starting to wind down.
Yes, they are, yep. I think we have a couple more weeks of programs and then it really dies off. Fair starts out,
Yeah.
school's there,
Yeah,
but then it'll be,
getting ready for it.
can't forget the words, field trips.
Yeah,
A lot of field trips come out in the fall and the spring while this weather's still nice, so.
Good.
This never stops for them.
yeah.
Excellent.
Any other questions?
There was a claim in the claims for a mower lease.
Yeah.
Came through.
Yes.
Is that yearly?
Yes, for 3 years. 24-ish thousand, I think,
Yeah, it was
and.
eight thousand.
Yeah.
Some dollars.
Yep.
Just kind of stood out. I
Yeah,
just wanted to make sure.
That was decided last year, 2 years
Okay.
ago.
Alright.
I think that's our second mower payment,
83.55, yeah.
so I think we have one more.
And then,
Instead
and
of
then,
with a 24,000.
And then we-
was your first complete.
and then we own it.
Yes, and then I think, I can't exactly remember how we set it up, there was some discussion about. So we usually turn them in on a 5-year rotation, because it's just
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
It's a 3-year lease, but the 2 extra years, I believe we own it for those 2 years.
And then
And
turn
then,
it in,
yeah.
okay.
But we have a extended warranty that I think covers
Covers it,
all 5,
okay.
so,
That is correct. That's
Yeah.
what we had set up.
yeah, no problem. I wasn't so much director at
Yeah, no,
that, point, so I was just kind of at that meeting.
Well, I'm learning too. so
Yeah, I'm remembering facts as we go.
Just wanna ask the question.
It was hard for us to come up with a 25. It kept going up every year, so that's why we did it that way. And with the government, anytime you do a lease, we have to have an end, you have to buy it for $1,
Mhm.
and then we own it. That's the rules.
Okay.
We have to own it.
That's fine. That's fine. It
And that's why we've done vehicles, we've done, we did the lawnmower at the courthouse, and, so it just takes the strain off the taxpayers.
Sure, yep, and it came out of that reserve fund that you guys, put money into last
Yeah,
time,
good.
so it all covers each other.
How many mowers do we have?
2.
Just 2?
Yeah, we have a Dixon that's not in any working shape that, sometime I'll talk to the board and we'll get some, maybe sell some equipment.
That used to be kept at one of our mowing that Dixon did, and I can't remember if it was kept. If we had it out to we had it out there somewhere, we had a mower just planted out there.
Yeah, and I think at one point there was one at the office. So that, but it was during the flooding, we kept a mower out there.
Cause you couldn't.
Cause yeah, it was easier or it was Jeff, he lived on that side of the river. So he would just mow that portion and then everybody else would mow the other
That's
side.
the whole reason we had it.
Yeah, but so we'll get that out here, but we have 2 really nice, one of them's John Deere, one of them's Kubota. 39 horsepower out front deck. 72-inch. They haul, it's awesome.
Good. Great.
Anything else, Jacob?
No, any concerns?
Any questions?
Good.
Thank you.
Well, I got one question. The Mabius ground we bought, which kind of coming in, are we doing anything to improve it, or is it just screwed up to mow for roads? Or-
Yeah, there's a little multiflora. Cedars are our highest concern right now.
Well,
We burned it last year or the year before, so it's not quite ready to get burned again. But we will take the skid steer occasionally out there and pop out the cedars. We have the grapple. It's really nice, just, yeah, they come right out. It's just a big work in progress out there, just like all of our areas.
have we put together a plan why, for trails or?
There's one trail around the whole thing. It's a, I don't know, probably 10 feet wide. We skid steer mulched it and then we can mow it with our mowers now. It's fire break plus trail, so.
Okay,
A
great.
lot of things, and I don't think we'll do any in-betweens or, cross sections because it gets really tough for burning. And
Mhm.
that's it,
Okay, is there a way we can get anything other than a loader back in?
a what?
The one time we was gonna make a trail on the east side
Oh, yeah.
back there with the,
On
yeah, we
like-
done that.
No, well, I mean, we have a mower trail. Like our skid steer can get back there on that trail, but Anything more than that,
Okay.
there's some pretty good goalies back there.
Talk to making a lane that a pickup back there.
No, it might, it'd take a lot of money and a lot of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any plans to improve the native grasses or?
Oh, absolutely, and that's, I mean, with burning and
Burning.
burning and seeding, that's what it'll take.
It's out at,
North of Virginia Grove, that connects Bear Grove, Virginia Grove, and then there's a woodland lot there. That it tied up everything together. It was a really good idea. I love that.
if you went to Baird Ridge, you could walk to the woodland and
Yeah,
go hunting.
yep, all of them are all one big unit.
Right, that's good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
That's why we paid the big bucks to do it.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll get out of here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cindy, whenever you're ready. Thank you.
This is Jacob's, or do you know?
No, it's Mark's.
You can have her.
I don't want it. I don't want it to, if I don't wanna go.
Okay, all right.
So, foot and phone traffic for general assistance is 62 phone and 25 foot. As far as the pantry, we are still running high. It's, in June, we had 49 households. That was 127 individuals that received food last month. The mobile, food pantry runs about the same, anywhere between 175 and 200. I did run it last month, as the leader was on vacation. And so we did lower it to 175, just so we didn't struggle with getting rid of food at the very end, but we could have gotten rid of 200. It remains pretty high there also. We do have the Salvation Army backpacks. They donated backpacks to our local schools. They did the same thing last year, and so those I've been delivering to the schools this week, and I only have one left to get delivered today. They were able to let me know how many backpacks they could use, so it was up to them, and a great program that Salvation Army has done. And then we had 2 denials for notice of decisions. Both of them, or one of them was energy assistance and one of them was cremation assistance, and they were denied for different reasons. Another program took care of the cremation. And as far as the energy assistance, it was a really high bill and they weren't able to come up with the rest of the funding to utilize some county funding to go with it, so. That's where we're at. Any questions?
On the food, is protein back to where it was before? It's
Not as high as it should be or that we could utilize, but they are throwing in peanut butter again. It was out for a while and it is in there. The meat, it varies. We did have shrimp last month, so that's a good addition, but yeah, it varies month to month.
Yeah.
They do really good at the local food pantry here because they subsidize with the funding that they have, so they can purchase things that if they're low on a protein item or, you know, some other item that's a filler or whatever, then they can go purchase those items.
okay. Anybody, any questions? No.
All right, I'm
Thank
gonna
you so
shop for
much.
Bobby's. So.
Yeah. Should be right there. Has it been 3 months since we talked about it?
It's been a little while.
Don't seem
Lots
like
of
it,
change. Oh my God.
We are gonna be scooping snow here pretty quick. It just seemed like last month.
no, I see her on. Well, she sent me some emails on transition plans.
Can you hear us, Bobby? There you are.
Trying to unmute.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We was just talking about the 3 months that it's just, hopefully tell me it wasn't 3 months the last time we seen you, because it seemed like it was just last month, but welcome back anyway. How's that?
It's been a while. Yeah.
Don't seem like it, but good seeing you. You can go ahead with your report anytime you want to get started.
Okay. So the last 3 months, probably since we've met, the region has been working and on contracting with all of our local providers. So we've completed that as of last week. We tried to maintain the services that we had contracted for in the last several years. I think we accomplished that with some small reductions in some services that we were providing in the jails on our western half of our region. Now that we picked up several other counties, we had to realign our management plans. But I think that everything went really well. We did end up contracting for another intensive residential service home that will be opening in the Ottumwa area. So our region now has 2 of the intensive residential service homes. The newest thing, we have opened up a RFP for ACT services, assertive community treatment services. So providers have the ability to respond to that RFP up until August 16th. So we are hoping to have some interest in that service and be able to expand that over on our side of our region. So the traditional SEAL region counties, including Louisa, hopefully we'll have access to those ACT services for individuals. We do have a provider already on the other western half of our region providing those services. So we're pretty excited about that to come soon. Otherwise, we have been participating in the public meetings for the transition of the behavioral health system and the alignment. So the last call I was on, there was 499 individuals on that call. So there's a lot of interest in this, which is good. A lot of comments. So I believe that August 1st, they will be coming out with the new district maps, which will at least tell us which counties are falling which in with which districts. But truly, you know, I think that people need to understand that residency will no longer matter in Iowa. The system will be funded and hopefully administered on a statewide basis. So regardless of where you live, you can access services anywhere. So we did receive a transition plan at the end of June from HHS, and we've reviewed that. I sent that to all of you to review as well. And we are just working through what that transition will look like. And as comments come through from the public, that transition plan is a fluid plan. We hope to see an update every quarter on that plan, and anything new that's added to the plan or timelines that have changed. So they will be releasing some RFPs also, which we will keep our eye on for the behavioral health district ASOs, which are the administrative service organizations. And then as far as the disability part of the services that the regions administered, those will fall underneath the ADRCs, which is the Adult Disability and Resource Centers. So there will be lead agencies, a lead agency overall is how I understand it. And then we will have the AAAs, and then there will be local disability services offices or locations, maybe not locations, but there will be some way in which they have local representation. So we're just kind of following all of that, and we'll keep continuing to send you information. The governing board is reviewing that information and providing comments, public comments, and also comments to commission and HHS. And hopefully we can have some influence in the new development of the system. So other than that, we're just still trying to promote all the services that we currently contract for. Mobile crisis response, just so that you know, seems to be going very well. And they are supporting the individuals in the community. we were happy to see that a lot of the calls for mobile crisis response are actually not coming from law enforcement, which we kind of thought that they may, but they are coming from the community members. So that means that people are aware and accessing services on their own without law enforcement intervention. However, law enforcement always has access to mobile crisis response and the staff to be dispatched to the location. But things are going really well with Elevate in that aspect with mobile crisis response.
Mhm.
And individuals access that through calling 988 and or Your Life Iowa.
Okay.
You guys have questions for me about the MHDS system?
I don't.
Not at this point.
Go ahead and do it.
August 1st, probably.
Yeah, and we do expect the RFPs to come out from HHS here in the fall. So once those RFPs come out for the administrative service organizations, we will know a little bit more and have some more discussions about that.
Yeah.
We will know who those ASOs were awarded to in, I believe, January.
It'll be interesting to see the map when it comes out, see how what they do with our district, so.
Yes, I'll be sure to send that to you as soon as I find that out.
Yeah.
So we might see you next month, huh?
If you would like to.
If there's changes, I'd like to at least see what groups we're involved in. I don't know if they're gonna follow the Iowa workforce groups. I don't know how they're gonna do that, so. Yeah. Sounds good. Good luck.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you all.
Yeah, take care.
Good to see you, Bobby.
Can we have a treasurer semi-annual report? And we also have the sheriff's fourth quarter.
Yeah.
There was no payroll changes that I seen in the file.
I will make a motion to approve the treasurer's semi-annual report.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
And I'll,
Sure.
I'll make a motion that we, well, we don't, we just review it. There's no motion.
It's review. Yep.
A review.
Jim, you ready for a number?
Oh, sure.
It's 196,814.52. Thanks. You bet. You got to review it also too. Sure. Oh, he's looking at it.
And Kurt, whenever you're ready.
Brandon needs to update his cover letter. It says, I, Brad, needs to be Brandon.
Hey, Spency.
How's it going?
Good, what are you up to? Would you guys like a copy of this?
No, we're just gonna swear at, we're just gonna swear at.
That's what I mean, that's fine, I get that every day.
I wasn't sure exactly how much you needed.
Well, we just need to put it in the file.
Yep. So we interviewed a couple candidates. Both of them were fine candidates. We looked at some outside personality stuff. And really, a big contributing factor was the fact that Mark's still serving. He connects us with a younger veteran corps. Was one of the things that kind of put him above the other candidates. And we've present Mark Spasano for your approval.
Congratulations. Mark, I have the pleasure of swearing you in, so I'm gonna give you this, you wanna come on up, raise your right hand and read this off. And like I said, we're very happy to have that age group, get back and represent our veterans, so come on back here. They'll probably want pictures like you. Yeah. I'm gonna have you raise your right hand and read that. Will you say this?
I, Mark Spasano, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Iowa. That I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all the duties of the office of Veterans Affairs Commission in Louisa County as now or hereafter required by law.
That's it. Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations.
Thanks.
buddy. I think you're the best man for the job. That's good.
One more thing about that.
One more thing to his,
Well, congratulations.
one more thing to his plate.
Yep.
His plate's like Thanksgiving dinner. It's just
Overflowing. And we need a motion from,
I'll make a motion to approve Mark Spithnagel as, our new commissioner.
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Mark.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Do we have any payroll changes?
No,
No?
now it's claims.
I'm in the international.
I've reviewed it.
Okay, is everybody, there was no payroll changes, I don't know if you guys heard that or not.
No.
And then we have the claims, that's the only thing I think is left.
I've reviewed them. I'll make the motion, so it's on the floor to approve the claims for this month. In this period.
Look at a couple
Yeah,
more
that's
pages
fine.
here before I second.
No rush.
There's many pages it is, it's as big an amount as. I thought it'd be.
Well, it wasn't that big. I didn't think.
It's a plenty.
Well, yeah. It's even worse than that.
Pretty light. It'll be a big one next time.
Yeah.
But you hand back the sheriff's.
I thought
I was reading it.
I think I.
Did you hand it
Yeah.
back?
Yeah.
Almost sure I did.
Sure I did. And on the sheriff's
Yeah,
bill.
my appointment. My.
They went that way.
I'm sure I had it back.
Chris, did you second the claim yet?
And Susan, on the sheriff's report. The second paragraph, it still says Brad Turner.
Yeah.
I'll contact her.
There's no typo.
Yeah, I'll contact her. Yep.
Well, you know what, though, guys, he,
It was for that quarter.
there's that quarter, he was still there.
Yeah,
Well, you're right,
yeah,
Yeah, so I think.
Yeah, okay, fair
I'll
enough,
make sure.
but in the future, it'll.
Yeah.
Make sure.
fair enough.
I think on that quarter, he was still,
All right.
At least half of it.
yeah.
Okay, I made it a sec, I'll make a second for the one.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's all the business I see that's brought forth to us today.
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Bye. This. Hannah really got hired by the conservation.
Yeah. Good kid.
And, 'cause he, they used